शादीशुदा इंसान 19 साल की शादी के बाद बाहुबली बन सकता है घर में। सब बाहुबली बन जाते हैं वहाँ जाके।
Guys, look at him. हाथ में तलवार, sword in the hand, voice of Bahubali, and I have to take the intro. After watching first Bahubali, did you Google कटप्पा ने बाहुबली को क्यों मारा?
Everybody.
बनाने का तरीका है, वो जो सोचा होता है वैसे ही बनाते हैं, ऐसे नहीं कि सोचा कुछ और बनाया बन गया कुछ। So he's a visionary, understand? So sharing stage with him, and it was a very wonderful experience for me.
New additions, any new characters which we will see in
Absolutely. When people find in this story, I think what they'll find is a key element.
रात के 11:15 मैंने आज तक कोई इंटरव्यू नहीं किया।
तलवार की नोक पे मैंने इंटरव्यू करवाया है।
तलवार की नोक पे इंटरव्यू करवाया है। Guys, look at him. हाथ में तलवार, sword in the hand, voice of Bahubali, and I have to take the interview. So, questions कैसे पूछूंगा मैं?
बिल्कुल, आप पूछ सकते हैं, थोड़ा सा आराम से बैठ जाते हैं। बताइए।
So, first of all, we have the creator of Bahubali and the voice of Bahubali, Sharad and Sharad.
Creator of the animated series.
Yes, creator of the animated series. यहाँ वो Hotstar वालों ने बड़ा सा लगा रखा है. It is very much clear. बहुत ज़्यादा branding है. तो we don't have to explain it.
Everything has been written. Yeah.
So, first of all, सबसे पहले तो ये बताइए कि बार बार जो बाहुबली आपके साथ जुड़ जाता है, तो घर में भी you don't feel like a बाहुबली?
आपको लगता है कि कोई भी शादीशुदा इंसान 19 साल की शादी के बाद बाहुबली बन सकता है घर पे?
बस यही जानना चाह रहा था मैं।
कोई नहीं है वो दुनिया में, कोई बना ही नहीं है ऐसा। सब बाहुबली बन जाते हैं वहाँ जाके। बाहुबली तो बोल।
थंबनेल मिल गया अब ये मुझे। I got my thumbnail. How बाहुबली become बाहुबली?
At home, yeah. So no यार, घर में कोई तवज्जो नहीं होती है आपकी। और अगर आपकी बीवी आपसे बहुत प्यार करती है तो तवज्जो बिल्कुल भी नहीं है फिर तो। At home, my wife is my teacher. She taught me acting and ABCD of this craft. So she is the best reviewer. She is the best critic. So she appreciates when it's good. When she criticizes me as much as possible when I do a bad job. But those times are very less because I consciously, ask for suggestions from her every time before I do any project. मैं हर स्क्रिप्ट जाके नरेट करता हूँ एज इट इज़ जैसी मुझे नरेट की होती है, और फिर मैं उनसे पूछता हूँ कि क्या मुझे करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए। तो जब वो बोलती करना चाहिए, और तब जाके शायद काम खराब नहीं होता है। शायद इसलिए किसी ने बहुत बुराई तो नहीं की मेरी आज तक।
हाँ नहीं, रिव्यूज तो आप वैसे भी बहुत
अच्छे मिल जाते हैं।
अच्छे मिल जाते हैं। नहीं, अच्छा काम,
बुरे वाले में देखता नहीं हूँ।
अच्छे काम करते हैं तभी अच्छे वाले मिलते हैं। सर, हाउ यू थॉट ऑफ गेटिंग एसोसिएटेड विद Bahubali?
Well, one, just like all the hundreds of millions of people who've seen the film, when I saw the first Bahubali, I was taken away into a place of wonder. It was one of the most amazing films that I had never seen anything like it before. And I had the good fortune of actually meeting Rajamouli at that time. I had been involved in a lot of work in character entertainment, world building, and he wanted me to come and talk a little bit about his plans for the universe that he had created. And when I spent the day with him, I started to realize that what we had seen on the screen in both films is really the tip of the iceberg. He had spent years beforehand crafting so much detail about this world and about stories and characters and about how it all came together. And that shows on the screen. That love of the craft shows from anyone who's watched it. Unconsciously we connect because we know there's such deeper resonance. Rather than what we see in a lot of films where there's a successful film, let's scramble to create all the other things that we can fit around it. He had already done all that work well before the first film was even shot and well before the cameras were even rolling. So it made it very easy for us to come together. At that time, we started with comic books and graphic novels. We started crafting different stories that we wanted to tell or that would go deeper. And then in the films, he actually had these beautiful spaces that would take place. So what we're doing is not a prequel, it's not a sequel. It is the spaces he left within the film to allow us to go deep and really flesh out. And so the story of the two princes and the story of, Bahu and Bala, and, obviously we know where that story goes. We know Bala's intentions, but there was a moment in time. And in that moment, we are able to craft an amazing story that allows us to give surprises to all the people who've seen the film of what really shaped that dynamic, the two of them, how that all came together. And so for me, just like everyone else, I grew up in a world where, whether it was Marvel or Star Wars, the movie is just one piece of a big puzzle to take you down the world. And we were so honored that Rajamouli has given us this gift to really go down here and craft stories in his world.
Okay, tell me one thing very honestly. After watching first Bahubali, did you Google Katapaa ne Bahubali ko kyun mara?
Everybody wanted to know, and that is the truth. But I think it was really after the second film too that the history of Indian cinema, if not global cinema, will be defined as before Bahubali and after Bahubali. Those two films shaped an entire generation.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that is a great legacy and a great responsibility we wanted to live to. But we also wanted to bring back that emotion to the fans. And that's by having the voice of Sharad Kelkar coming here, who so many people have identified with it. And that, again, it's incomparable to see what Prabhas was able to do on the screen with the gravitas and persona and charisma that he's able to do in every frame. But having the original voice cast, at least in the Hindi side, coming and really bringing that level of creativity to this, incredible acting work, and unlike having a film and doing a dub-in, we would just have to give him the scripts. So he'd have to we were creating the animation based on his performances in many ways. So it's a very different style of how we had to come together.
So he increased your work.
He made our work even so much
more tougher.
So much more. Yeah. But that's good for audience.
Absolutely, yeah.
अच्छा, आवाज़ तो आपकी बचपन से ही मतलब अच्छी नहीं थी, बाद में अच्छी हुई थी, ठीक है? हाँ, आपने आज स्टेज पे बोला भी,
बिल्कुल,
ठीक है? तो बाहुबली, जैसा कि सर सेड कि वन एरा बिफोर बाहुबली, आफ्टर बाहुबली, विजुअली मतलब स्पेक्टेकुलर. बट जब वो एनिमेशन में आया, तो उसमें वॉइस एक्टिंग करना, हाउ डिफिकल्ट वॉज इट और हाउ डिफरेंट वॉज इट? क्योंकि हमारे लिए बाहुबली का मतलब है कि प्रभास दिखेगा, ग्रैंड सा होगा और पीछे से शरद केलकर की आवाज आएगी. बट यहाँ पे एनिमेशन है, तो वो मतलब
ऑब्वियसली एक चैलेंज होता ही है, बिकॉज देयर इज नो एज इट इज ह्यूमन फेस टू इट. इट्स एनिमेशन, अडैप्टेड फ्रॉम द ओरिजिनल फिल्म. अल्टीमेटली तो मैं एक्टर ही हूँ ना, मतलब मुझे तो मजा ही आएगा. किसी भी एक्टर को एक हीरो प्ले करने में बहुत मजा आता है, एंड दैट टू बाहुबली ऑब्वियसली इट वाज अ great opportunity for me. You can as a pattern with what we did, because I worked with them before also, and we've been working for the last 5 years in the Legend of Hanuman. So that process was not new for me. So I knew what am I getting into in the series. So the idea was to keep that film in mind, how the characters are, but I had a liberty to perform as I want to perform in the film. तो बड़ा एडवांटेज था थोड़ा वहाँ पर कि मुझे जो करना था वो करने को मिल रहा था.
वहाँ नहीं था, वहाँ
जो किया हुआ
हो गया था, उसी को आपको
करना है. सो वो एक एडवांटेज था. बट दोनों में बहुत मजा आया, बिकॉज प्रभास ने बहुत बढ़िया किया था और बस मुझे फिल करना था उसे. और यहाँ मुझे एक चांस मिला कि मैं वो ध्यान में रखते हुए कि प्रभास ने कैसा किया था, उसको रखते हुए एक्ट करना था. तो वो एक टफ भी था, साथ में एक सुविधा थी कि रेफरेंस था आपके दिमाग में, सबकॉन्शियस में कि आई कैंट गो beyond these parameters, because characters have been shown already. You can't go beyond it, but you can match it and you can do different things with it. तो अब सीरीज देखेंगे तो बहुत सारे सीन्स अलग हैं जो शायद आपको उन दोनों फिल्मों में दिखाई ना दे. There are a lot of emotions which were not there in that film. Those kind of scenes which are there in this series. तो ये भी बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग है. उसमें पर्टिकुलरली एक जो पूरा स्ट्रेच है पूरी सीरीज में, आप देखते जाएंगे धीरे धीरे, वो बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है, जो आपको जो बाहुबली 1 और 2 दोनों में नहीं है. So है, अलग चीजें भी हैं, तो वो करने में बड़ा मजा है.
So what is the target audience for this?
Yeah. So
I mean, this is for everyone, for kids. Because when I started watching, मैंने 2 episodes जब देखे, when I started watching, so initially I thought कि this is for kids, but slowly the interest began to develop कि मैं नहीं, okay, I can also watch it.
So
What have you thought about the target audience?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely the mission of what we've been doing as a company, we started with Legend of Hanuman as also a show that would go far beyond kids and change the perception in the country that animation is not a genre for kids, it's a medium for complex storytelling. And rather than, dumb it down for a younger audience, we wanted to smarten it up. And as complicated as we could make the political dynamics, the themes, all of the nuance in Legend of Hanuman itself, we wanted to take a lot of that and even push it up further now with Crown of Blood. How could we really get a series that goes much older in terms of the themes, in terms of the serious gravitas of what we're trying to deal with about war and human nature, betrayal, courage, heroism, drama. These are themes rarely explored in a kids' animation, but very explored in global animation. So when we look at the best animation in the world from Japan or other markets, Miyazaki wins Academy Awards for work that is really transcendent. So we wanted to produce quality work like that, which would make the mass of India from 8 to 80 look at it just like the films from 8 to 80, but really look at animation in a whole different way and see it as something they would forget it's an animation and just come into it now and start watching it for the characters, the story, the narrative, and the amazing world that Bahubali really is. Yes.
Acha, today I was there at the event, the press conference, so I will ask you this question. How was it sharing stage with Rajamouli?
As I said, I was shivering because, we worked together, but on a public platform. We were never together. I met him a couple of times before this also. But it's an honor, first of all, to be on the same stage with the person who has changed the meaning of Indian cinema. He put our cinema to the world stage, and as you have seen all his films, he's the only one person who imagines something, he writes it down, he conceives it, he implements it, and he makes the way he visualized. Correct? जो बनाने का तरीका है, वो जो सोचा होता है वैसे ही बनाते हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि सोचा कुछ और बन गया कुछ. So he's a visionary, understand. So sharing stage with him, and it was a very wonderful experience for me. And sometimes you don't get a chance to meet him or have a word with him. I got full half an hour to spend with him, and I was, he's a very knowledgeable guy, I understand. He's a fantastic guy to be with, and we were fortunate to spend time with him, and it was a great. Thank you, Hyderabad, for that.
मैंने वही सुना कि you were shivering. मुझे बड़ा लगा, मैंने
मेरे साथ भी
साल से मतलब बाहुबली भी कांपता है. बाहुबली also shivers.
Because he has created that, and all the things which again comes back to your memory, and how we dubbed the film, and how the film and all the. So I'm a very emotional person, and it was a nostalgia sharing stage with him. So it all was mixed emotion for me.
Lastly and quickly, रात बहुत हो रही है, आप भी थके हुए हैं, मैं भी थका.
ये तो US से आए हैं, jet lagged हैं.
Yeah, exactly.
Any new additions, any new characters which we will see in
Absolutely.
this?
Yes. Yeah. There is a character that we won't give much away, but has been erased from the secret history of Maheshmati. But when people find in this story, I think what they'll find is a key element that may reshape how you even see all the films. So we're hoping, but without saying much more, I encourage everyone to watch, and they'll find a lot.
मतलब there is something new. कि बाहुबली 1 और 2 के बाद कुछ ना कुछ नया है.
So इसके बाद भी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग हो सकता है, होगा.
मैं आपसे जब लास्ट टाइम मिला था हनुमान के टाइम पे, तो he told me we are meeting soon. मुझे नहीं पता आपको याद है नहीं याद है. You told me कि we are meeting soon, आप जल्द वापस आने वाले हो, and see, तो जब भी आते हैं बड़े धमाके.
I always keep that those cliffhangers personally also. Next time something else.
Next time something else. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And रात के 11:15 बजे मैंने आज तक कोई इंटरव्यू नहीं किया. Thanks to
nice.
शरद and उनकी तलवार. All the very best.
तलवार की नोक पे मैंने इंटरव्यू करवाया है.
तलवार की नोक पे इंटरव्यू करवाया.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.